Folks, the news about South Park just keeps getting better and so much worse for Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, and ICE. Because the episode that just aired got a nut that we did a whole breakdown of yesterday, I'll leave that video link up above and down below in the description, got double, you heard that right, the ratings of the initial episode with the naked Trump and the tiny weenie and all that. But on top of that, Kristi Noem, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, has responded, and as per usual, whenever this administration responds to something South Park does, it immediately blows up in their face, and that's exactly what's happening here. It is incredible. South Park is trolling these people worse than ever, and they just keep walking into it like the morons they are. And we'll cover everything in this video, so drop a like, subscribe, and stay tuned. But first, I want to start with a clip that I didn't get to play for you in yesterday's breakdown. This is the outro clip, the end credits scene that played after yesterday's episode. Absolutely incredible portrayal of Kristi Noem. And I'll put some extra clips at the end of this video too if you don't want to have to go back to the other one or try and find it. But listen to this. So, new reporting came out today that South Park nearly doubled its ratings for the follow-up to the season premiere that centered on, as we said, Trump's teeny tiny manhood. The series drew far more TV viewers for its parody of ICE Barbie and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and her immigration and custom enforcement agents. And just before the show's roasting of Noem, during which she was portrayed as a glam-obsessed ICE agent who loves arresting Hispanic people, killing puppies, and using Botox, the DHS used the series to promote its ICE recruitment efforts. We also made a video about that. They posted this image on their actual Twitter account as a recruitment effort for ICE, and then South Park responded by saying, "Wow, we made it," and then telling them to hashtag eat a bag of dicks. And Homeland Security tried to respond to that, putting out a statement saying, "We want to thank South Park for drawing attention to ICE law enforcement recruitment. We're calling on all patriotic Americans to help us remove murderers, gang members, pedos, and other violent criminals from our country." But that tune changed drastically after Noem got a look at South Park's version of her on Thursday and responded to the parody. Even though, and get this, she claimed she hadn't seen the episode because she'd been busy, quote, going over budget numbers and stuff. Which sounds like exactly what I tell my boss when I take the day off to play video games. And Kristi Noem said all this on Glenn Beck's podcast, so here's the clip of what she said there.
South Park is known for its edgy humor, and in its latest episode, they've targeted a satirical eye on Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. Now the Trump cabinet member known as ICE Barbie is hitting back, denouncing South Park as, quote, lazy and petty.
Kristi Noem is firing back.
I'm Kristi Noem, head of Homeland Security.
Appearing on the Glenn Beck podcast, the Secretary of Homeland Security slammed the guys behind South Park for their edgy portrayal of her on this week's episode.
It's so lazy to just constantly make fun of women for how they look. If they wanted to criticize my job, go ahead and do that, but clearly they can't. They just pick something petty like that.
This week's episode savagely mocked her ICE Barbie reputation, showing her getting all dolled up, only to shoot one puppy after another as her Botox wears off.
Woo! Your Botox, Miss Noem? Oh yeah, fix me up. Another day doing what's tough.
Border czar Tom Homan also condemned the episode's timing, given recent assaults on ICE agents.
We're up over 830% increase on assaults on ICE agents. They feel emboldened the more and more they see this bad rhetoric coming out. So I thought the parody was just in bad form.
Kristi Noem's reaction is a stark contrast to what Vice President J.D. Vance had to say after he was spoofed on South Park in the same episode.
Hey, will you get out of here?
He was depicted as President Trump's lapdog, but he seemed to take his appearance in stride. "Well, I've finally made it," he declared.
A couple things here, and then we'll get into the new trolling. But first of all, Kristi, if you'd watched the actual episode, you'd know that they did make fun of you doing your job. Because you're a stupid bimbo fascist pig and you kill puppies, and they portrayed that pretty accurately. And also to Tom Homan, go f*** yourself. You're upset about South Park portraying ICE in a bad light? Have you seen what they do? Is it any wonder they get attacked? When you are attacking civilians, innocent people, immigrants, even citizens, most of the footage of what ICE is doing to people, I can't even show because it's too graphic for YouTube. And now you have idiots like Dean Cain, who used to play Superman, trying to join ICE like it's patriotic. No! If you join ICE, you're a loser and a fascist, and you're scum who's on the wrong side of history and hopefully will get their own Nuremberg trials. But now, of course, South Park is responding again in stride as these people make themselves look like the morons they are. Ice Barbie Kristi Noem might have hoped she'd ended the joke when she dismissed her heavily Botoxed South Park caricature as lazy and petty. Turns out she could not have been more wrong. The Department of Homeland Security was lampooned in brutal fashion by the Comedy Central cartoon. And afterwards, they changed their profile picture that used to be Jesus before this to Kristi Noem's messed up Botox face on their social media accounts. And switching its avatars ensures the show's snark sits atop every reply, meme, and clip it reposts, keeping Noem's gloopy face splashed across millions of timelines just as her complaints generated worldwide headlines. And I've said it before and I'll say it again here, but I am just so proud of the South Park creators and the show in general. I've watched it for my entire life. My dad and I would watch it together growing up, and frankly, he voted for Trump the first time around, and ever since then, I've actually been able to talk to him and convince him to be woke and kind of liberalize him. And I think having that connection of humor and being able to relate it to things that are going on in South Park was a huge reason why. And that is why I will just continue to hammer home the point. Like, these people think they're untouchable. They're on top of the world right now. Kristi Noem, Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Charlie Kirk, who was also parodied in the episode. They think nothing can bring them down, except maybe Epstein. But this, satire, humor, is what will do it. Because God knows the Democrats ain't doing shit. And so the more they try to fight back against South Park or against people who are making fun of them or whatever it is, the worse they look and the harder they fall on their Botox faces. And it is unfortunate because people like me, and I'm sure many of you watching, have been calling out these things from the beginning. How inhumane it is, how atrocious and Nazi-like all of this stuff is, the internment camps, the Gestapo, the concentration camps, the literal deletion of the Constitution and our rights. It's so dystopian that it's hard for even progressives or people on the left to listen to and want to learn about or think about day in and day out. Because it's easier to just say, well, you know what, it doesn't affect me, like shove it aside. And on the far right or the other side of the spectrum, there's a lot of people that are cheering it and openly saying they are fascists and Nazis and all these terrible things and everything in between. But all of that eventually leads to complacency. And with South Park growing each episode in its ratings and going harder and harder against these people and these fascists and our government officials that are leading this regime, it is exposing their weakness and their crimes against humanity and this country to an ever-expanding audience of people who are, it's clicking in their head now and they're able to digest it because, oh, it's just a cartoon, or oh, it's South Park, oh, it's petty humor. Yeah, but it's saying a hell of a lot. And even when maggots try to sit here and say, oh, I'm not watching South Park because it's woke. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, you're a snowflake. You're a bitch. You always have been a bitch. But now everyone knows you're a bitch. And so why would anyone ever listen to you or your opinions about politics, about what's funny? Hell, maybe you shouldn't even be able to pick your own clothes out anymore because you're so broken in the prefrontal cortex. That's the nicest way I can think of putting it. Anyway, sorry for another rant, but man, this stuff gets me riled up. As I said in the previous videos, we will be doing a breakdown of every episode of South Park this season, and we will always keep our eyes on the news like this when it backfires on Trump officials and when they do more trolling and keep you guys in the loop. So drop a like and subscribe if that is content you want to keep coming down your feed, and if you want to join our Really American Resistance here and be on the right side of history. Let me know all your thoughts in those comments down below, and where I'll end this here is with my new favorite phrase to tell Donald Trump, his whole regime, and anybody who supports them, eat a giant bag of dicks. Thanks again for watching. For Really American, I'm Kenny Hesse. I'll see you guys in the next one.